Good evening and welcome to the Capitol Center here on the campus of Capital University. Jimmy Bloomfield here with you, and tonight is the start of the women's basketball season for the Comets, trying to start off on the right foot here at home as we kick things off for the 2022 to 2023 campaign. Kenyon College is in town tonight, and we thank you as always for joining us here on the broadcast network. So Capital, a team that had a disappointing season last year, no doubt about that. 2-14 record in conference play. They did get to play in the conference tournament due to some COVID changes to the rules mid-season. Was still kind of floating around, lingering as a problem last winter. So they were able to just have all 10 teams qualify. Capital was knocked out in the first round of that tournament and turned the page to the next season. And the official hiring of head coach Camille McPherson, who was the interim coach who took over for Capital in the middle of last year. She's going to be leading the Comets this year under the official title as head coach. And a lot of familiar names on this Comets squad coming back, including the freshman Lainey Murphy, who had a phenomenal year as a freshman, scoring the basketball for this Comets team. And some other key players, including starters Nicole Flock and Maddie Dugood. Demi Brewer, the leading assist person in the OAC last year. She was also first in turnovers in that sixth-man role for the Comets. She's back as well. And there are some other new faces around here that we're pretty excited about. A couple of transfers will be making their way into the starting lineup, both from Tiffin, both kind of local products. One went to Jonathan Alder High School, the other Hilliard Davidson, and that's Sydney Birkin and Bree O'Connor. Both will be in the starting lineup tonight. So some welcome transfers into the program and some fresh faces to help out with some familiar faces here with the program last year, as only losing really Brooke Amert from the team last year in terms of seniors, as Emma Burns only played a few games last year. She was injured, and then it just became kind of Amert playing as that senior last year. So there's a lot of returning familiar faces for this Comets team, and we'll see if they can get things done under Coach McPherson here in officially year one. Turning our page to the other side of the book is the Kenyon College Owls, who come in today actually 1-0. They defeated Defiance in their first game of the season, and it was a dramatic win for the Owls as well back on November 8th. They won in their home arena, 55-54. They outscored Defiance by 7 in the last quarter of the game. Had some big performances as well, including Katie Orphis, who scored 22 and had 9 rebounds as well. Claudia Cook, the center for the Owls, had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks in that game. And they also got 10 points from Michaela Rudolph in their starting lineup. So they come into town with a 1-0 record and some confidence that comes with it. A team that lost one of their leading scorers from last season in Grace Connery, and a couple of other key contributors in Greta Prop and Madeline Anderson, to say the least. So this is a young team on the other side for the Owls. They have Cook, who we mentioned, and Orphis, both a senior and a junior. Orphis the senior, Cook the junior. They also have 2 freshmen in their starting lineup, and it's a very young rotation. They have another junior in their starting lineup. But beyond that, it's a lot of youth with this Kenyon team. And as we mentioned, it's going to be a lot of young players playing for them, including some others off the bench. Of the players that played in their first game more than 20 minutes, 3 of them were freshmen. So it kind of speaks some volumes there in terms of where they're at. So it's kind of 2 younger programs going at it here tonight, and both trying to turn things around after disappointing seasons last year. We have 5 minutes and 50 seconds until tip-off here from the Capitol Center. We'll get through our pregame announcements here in the arena and our starting lineups and the national anthem, and then we should have tip-off here from the Capitol Center. We can go ahead and go through those starting lineups. We don't have the crowd mic set up today, so we will go ahead and pass those along before we get started here. First for the Comets, returning in the backcourt is the 5'8" sophomore guard out of Fredericksburg, Ohio, It's Lainey Murphy. Joining her in the backcourt is the 5'9 junior out of Plain City, Ohio, Jonathan Alder High School. That's Sydney Berkwin. Another on the wing, another sophomore 5'8 guard out of Hilliard, Ohio, Bree O'Connor. I mentioned those last two are transfers from Kenyon College. Nicole Flock back into the starting lineup as well. 5'6 guard out of Marion, Ohio. She's a sophomore. And rounding out the starting five down low is the 6'1 forward out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Maddie Duguid. So for the Comets, again, it's Murphy, Berkwin, O'Connor, Flock, and Duguid. They are coached by Camille McPherson, making her first official head coaching debut here in this one. She did have some games as the interim coach last season. She's assisted by Skylar Fenimore, Jason Wright, and Maggie Wright. For the Kenyon College Owls, also under head coach in her first year, Mary Corbett, who picked up her first win in the first game that we just mentioned against Defiance. She was a former assistant at Otterbein, so some Capital Otterbein connections in this one. It's always fun to point those out. She is assisted by Lexi Hassing. For the Owls, it's going to be number 12, the 5'8 senior guard out of Weston, Connecticut, Katie Orphis. Joining her in the backcourt is the 5'6 junior guard out of Rye, New York, Bella Kursovic. And then they've got some, one more on the wing, Alyssa Guest, the 5'6 freshman guard, local product out of Upper Arlington High School here in Columbus. And then they've got some height down low. One of them being the freshman, 6 foot, out of Westfield, Indiana, Michaela Rudolph. And joining her down low is the 6'1 center, a junior, out of Chesterfield, Missouri. It's Claudia Cook. So it's Orphis, Kursovic, Guest, Rudolph, and Cook on the other side for the Owls. We have 3 minutes showing on the clock here in the arena until we get things underway, so we'll step away for a few and come back with Capital basketball tipping off for the first time here at the Capital Center for the 2022-2023 campaign. We are ready for it here at the Capital Center. We'll see you in a few. And welcome back to the Capitol Center if you're just joining us. Capitol playing host to Kenyon College tonight in the season opener for the Comets. The Owls actually 1-0 as they come into play here this weekend. Jimmy Bloomfield with you, and thank you as always for joining us. The Comets, we went through the starting lineups, but I do see some new viewers here, so we'll go through them once again. Lainey Murphy, Sydney Birkin, Burquin, that is, Bree O'Connor, Nicole Flock, and Maddie Dugood for the Comets. And for the Owls, it's Katie Orphis, Bella Kursevic, Alyssa Guest, Michaela Rudolph, and Claudia Cook. The Comets 2-14 last year in OAC play, as we mentioned, and went through some turmoil with the coaching change in the middle of the season, and did get some continuity at least this offseason. Camille McPherson was named the head coach officially for the Comets, so this is technically year one for Camille leading things for the Comets. And there is a good amount of continuity, as we mentioned, from last year's team with Lainey Murphy, Nicole Flock, and Maddie Dugood returning and starting in tonight's game. And then two transfers, both from Tiffin College, rounding out the starting five as well, with Bree O'Connor and Sydney Burquin. Burquin's a junior, O'Connor's a sophomore, so excited to see what they bring to the picture here today. And that should be hopefully some dynamic scoring, because Capitol desperately needed it last season, losing senior Brooke Ammert, but the bigger injury to Emma Burns early in the season last year. That was supposed to be the primary scorer for the Comets. They never really recovered from that loss. And they get a fresh slate here, and a lot of minutes for Lainey Murphy in that season last year. She was, again, a freshman and one of the best in the OAC as a freshman. And some valuable playing time for her last season to kind of learn everything. And hopefully that translates into a big jump in year two for her. So we're looking out for her today, as well as these new transfers. Tip is up and won by Kenyon. The Owls are moving from left to right to start things off today. In the black jerseys, Capitol in the white uniform. Should be pretty easy to tell the teams apart today. Pass out to the corner and a three ball for Kursevic to start things off for Kenyon. No good, but they do get the offensive rebound, and the putback is good by Alyssa Guest. Guest had just 1 point on 0 for 7 shooting in their first game against Defiance on Tuesday, and she gets started in the right way on their first possession here today. Comets chasing 2. Pass goes out to the wing on the left side. Here's Nicole Flock. She's fouled. I believe that's going to be on the floor, so the first foul of the game 30 seconds in. And the foul is picked up by Alyssa Guest. So busy on both ends of the floor with a foul picked up after the bucket. Coming around to screen and receiving the pass. Inside now to Dugood on the find from Burquin. And no good from Maddie on the first attempt of the year. So Kenyon will head the other way with a 2-0 lead. Orphis has it, leading the charge, the point guard for the Owls. Her first shot of the day is missed. Rebound collected by Capitol. Good pace to this one early on. Both teams playing quickly in transition here. Drive and bucket scored for Capitol. Their first of the season comes from Sydney Burquin, the junior transfer out of Tiffin College, Plain City, Ohio native. 2-2 our score. Possession number 3 now for the Owls. Driving around a couple of screens as Orphis now leaves it for Claudia Cook. Cook had a huge game in their first contest of the season. Really, both of them did, Orphis and Cook, that is. Orphis had 22 and 9 with 4 steals, 18 and 10 for Claudia Cook with 3 blocks. Orphis was fouled on that last play. Pass goes in from Orphis now from under the basket. Fresh 20 on the shot clock. Deep 3 here. Pulled and missed by Michaela Rudolph, who chipped in with 10 points in their first game on Tuesday. Her first shot attempt of the day is no good. The foul to Capitol went to Maddie Dugood, by the way. Driving here's O'Connor. Her first shot as a Comet, no good. So we're stuck at 2-2 now as we cross the 8-minute mark. Just getting things underway here at the Capitol Center. Orphis might have traveled there, got away with it. Throws up a putback, no good, and knocked out of bounds by Claudia Cook. So some interesting numbers from that game against Defiance. Kenyon had 55 points. 40 of them came from Orphis and Cook. Rudolph added 10. Alyssa Guest had 1 point on 0 for 7 shooting, and Kursavik was 0 for 6 from 3. As a shot here from Murphy's no good. Duguid on the offensive putback, no good as well, and the rebound collected by Kenyon. So Rudolph added the other 10, and then only 5 points combined by the rest of the players that played for Kenyon, and only 1 shot made, and that was a basket by Anissa Hardy. The starting backcourt outside of Orphis from Guest and Kursavik went 0 for 11 from 3, and as a team, Kenyon shot 4 from 24 from the perimeter, something that they're going to need to improve upon. Orphis, just right on cue, throws up a miss from outside. Nice pass in transition there from O'Connor, and she finds Maddie Duguid, and Capital has their first lead of the season now 4-2. Kenyon is 1 for their last 6 from the field now, as the defense is picking up from the Comets. Orphis drives left with it, hands it off now, and this is Kursavik working around Rudolph on the top of the key. She moves to her left, tries to pass inside. Flock was fronting, and I think they're going to get Nicole for a foul. Second team foul for Capital. Subs on both sides. Checking in first is Samari Perkins for the Comets. She's a freshman out of Pittsburgh, PA. She replaces Duguid. Kenyon has made a few subs as well. Anissa Hardy checks in, and she receives the inbound pass from Orphis here. And they're going to call that a foul against Flock, so she picks up her second. And she'll probably come off here. She will for Demi Brewer. The other sub for Kenyon that had checked in, trying to grab a number here. Looks like it was Alexis Newman, number 1. It was. Pass goes inside again, trying to feed it to Hardy. Kicked out, and a 3 ball from Rudolph, no good, and Demi Brewer gets the rebound. Brewer pushes to the left side here, now to O'Connor in transition. They'll slow it back down, and Brewer will control. Demi, a key player from last year's team, a senior at 5'4". More on her in a second. Is Murphy's shot, actually it's Berquin's shot, no good for the Comets. Brewer was first in the OAC in assists per game last season. She was also first in turnovers per game, so you kind of had the good and the bad with Demi leading the charge as the point guard. And she played a lot of minutes towards the end of the season in that 6-man role and really benefited from it. That's when she really started to blossom at the end of the year. And she's starting this year in a similar type of role. Foul is going to go to Berquin here. And 2 shots coming for Claudia Cook. Cook's first shot is no good on the free throw attempt. Capital projected to finish 8th according to the coaches poll in this year's standings. And, you know, these polls are never entirely accurate, but just to kind of set some expectations there as Cook splits a pair from the line. But they're looking to change that. An interesting poll, I thought. Obviously, John Carroll lost a lot of talent last year from their team. But very interesting that Marietta was projected to win the conference. They were the 3 seed last year and lost in the OAC tournament in the first round as a home team to the 6th-seeded Mount Union Purple Raiders as a shot missed by Capital. But they were projected to win the conference. Very interesting poll. That's my comments on it. Berquin had a block on this side, then finds Demi Brewer under the basket. Brewer drives baseline, gets the shot to go, and Brewer's headed to the free throw line for the old school 3-point play. Foul is going to go against Alexis Newman. So Brewer with her first basket of the day. 6-3, Comets in front. And Brewer misses the free throw, but Comets doubling up. The Owls right now early on, 5:26 to play first quarter action. 3 different players have scored a basket for Capital in this one. For the Owls, they have not scored again from the field in 10 attempts now after that miss. 1 for their last 10. And they started the game with a basket, if you recall. Cap in the midst of a 6-1 run with their 6-3 lead. Murphy travels as she went up for the shot attempt there. And the first turnover of the day. Capital making some more changes. Checking in for the first time is number 21. That's Maddie Weiland. Some full court pressure here from the Comets. Newman stuck in a trap and a 5-second call. Actually, timeout called before the 5 seconds there. A smart timeout called by the Owls to prevent the turnover. So 5 minutes in, and everything's going pretty well for the Comets to this point. A 6-3 lead, 4:46 to play. Some subs that had come in for Kenyon there as well. Alyssa Guest checked back in for the Owls. Checking out was Katie Orphis, and then Megan Lieb also checked in for the first time for the Owls. We mentioned some subs there for the Comets. Checking in earlier was Samari Perkins. She's a freshman out of Pittsburgh, PA. Pretty excited about what she can bring to the table this season. And then Maddie Weiland, the 6-foot guard listed out of Beaver, PA. Her twin sister also on the team, Kenzie Weiland. So Maddie gets the first call here today. Oh, that looked like over and back, and there it is, a late whistle, but it's called. So Kenyon called the timeout to avoid the turnover, and then they commit one anyway. So Weiland passes into Brewer, and Capital still working on a nice 6-1 run here over the last 5 minutes of the game. Perkins passes to the left wing. Murphy for three. No good. It was halfway down and spun its way out. Murphy, the leading returner in terms of scorers. Probably didn't say that right from last year's team, and we know Murphy can make the long ball. Newman loses it. Brewer comes away with a steal. Full head of steam to the basket. Brewer collects and scores. 4 in a row from Demi Brewer. And she puts the Comets up 8-3. 5-point lead for Capital. Kenyon struggling to score. They got a bucket on the first possession of the game, and they haven't done anything since, and they look sloppy this possession. 14 seconds left on the shot clock now. It's controlled by Megan Lieb, and now Lieb loses it. Weiland taking it away but can't control it. And the loose ball goes out of bounds. Kenyon will keep possession. Lieb checks back out. Orphis checks back in, and the senior telling everybody, let's calm things down, guys. Kenyon outscored their opponent 16-9 to beat Defiance in the fourth quarter. But they are struggling early in this one. That momentum is not carried over. The inbound pass here goes off of Claudia Cook and out of bounds. And it's another turnover. That's 4 turnovers now for the Owls compared to just 1 for the Comets. Backdoor cut here from Brewer. She kicks it out now, and just as I said, only 1 turnover for the Comets. There's another one. Demi Brewer, 3.1 assists per game, 3.9 turnovers per game last season. Again, both of those numbers ranked first in the conference. She might get some extended run, too, with Nicole Flock in foul trouble. Kenyon guarding way away from the basket here, and a tough lay-in goes for Orphis. She's a talented player on the other side. She's just 1 for 6 now after missing her first 5 shots of the game. Has already taken 6 shots in 7 minutes for the Owls. Here's Brewer again. Mid-range jump shot, no good. Perkins fighting for the rebound and keeps possession for the Comets with the offensive rebound. It'll go as a team rebound for the Comets. Great effort there from the freshman Perkins. Brewer will come to the other side underneath the basket now. 2:55 to play. It's 8-5. First quarter. Brewer throws it in. Perkins has it, holds it high, passes to the left. Weiland back to Brewer now in the corner. Brewer for 3. No good. Perkins, excellent box out, and then a good block on the other side from Hardy. Loose ball on the ground. Cook had it, gets it to Newman. And Capital trying to keep some possession up. Kenyon throwing it away. And Orphis will calm things down for Kenyon. She has just 1 second to cross the timeline, and she smartly does. Only 15 on the shot clock now. The Owls will have to move quickly here this possession. Cook holding it high, passes a fake pass actually inside. Gives it to Orphis. She drives left, shot is no good. Rebound collected by Murphy. That's already 7 shots taken by Orphis on the other side. She's made just 1. 8-5 still our score. Pass inside into traffic, and Orphis gets the steal. She had 4 of those on Tuesday night. Orphis passes it inside. Here's Cook now. Kicks it back out. Long 2, no good. Released there by Alyssa Guest. And now a run out pass to Perkins, and Hardy's called for the foul. Good take there by Perkins aggressively into Hardy, and she is called for the foul. In terms of team fouls, we're nowhere near the limit for Kenyon. That's just their second. But Capital has committed 4 fouls now, 2 for Flock, 1 for Berkwin, and 1 for Dogood. Perkins from the line, no good on her first collegiate free throw attempt. Staring down the basket is Perkins, and after a long pause, puts up the free throw. This one's good. So Perkins splits the pair. Dogood checks back in, and not bad minutes there from Perkins as the freshman. 5 minutes with a lot of energy there, and didn't commit any fouls as well, which is always good to stay out of foul trouble early on. O'Connor will guard Orphis now. She brings it across the timeline. 9-5 our score, 1:37 left to play. Here's a 3 ball, no good. Rebound comes to Brewer. Brewer will cross the timeline quickly now, get a screen from O'Connor on the left wing. Leaves it for Maddie at the top. Dogood swings it to the right. Weiland now for O'Connor. O'Connor drives left, holds the ball high. Nice move to the basket, but the layup is no good. Now she's hounding in the backcourt, and a traveling called against the Owls. So no good on the layup there from O'Connor. A nice move to get to the basket. And then O'Connor is able to cause the turnover there as Alexis Newman, the freshman on the other side, had some trouble. Bella Kursovic checking back into the lineup now for Kenyon. 1:08 to play, fresh 30 on the shot clock in the first quarter here. So a 2-for-1 opportunity for the Comets if they time it out right. Dogood at the top of the key, swings it left to Weiland. Weiland drives to the basket. She's fouled, and she'll have 2 shots here. Good take by Maddie. A lot of Maddies on this team. Maddie Weiland, Maddie Dogood. And they were both key players from last year's team. Weiland started some games for Capital as well. She comes off the bench to start this season with the new transfers that have come in. Gives a lot of depth to this team. Weiland splits a pair at the line. And now with 55.7 seconds, actually a 2-for-1 opportunity here on the other side as well. Capital now 2 for 5 at the free throw line. Kenyon shooting 2 for 14 from the field, 14%. Capital not much better, 4 for 15, 26%. Here's a 3 ball from Kenyon. They're now 0 for 6 from outside after that miss by Guest. Pass goes inside in transition. Running out of room, and a pass to O'Connor. Good find from Berkwin. The 2 Tiffin transfers on the same page there. O'Connor can't knock the shot down, though. So some offensive struggles for both sides in the first quarter here. Both teams under 25% now. Neither team has knocked down a three-pointer, 0 for 10 combined. But the Comets lead 10-5 and are +2 in the turnover department, which was a problem for them last year. So it seems they have cleaned that up a little bit. 3 ball here again missed by Kenyon. That's time it's Michaela Rudolph. 8 seconds left for the Comets now. Berkwin driving in. She loses it. Kursovic gets the steal. Her pass stolen by Dogood, and she throws it up from half court. No good. So that'll go in the books as a miss. A couple of turnovers each way. And a problem now is Sydney Berkwin is hurt to the left, grabbing at her right knee and talking to the trainer right now. Hopefully that is not anything serious. We will step away for the end of the quarter and have an update there as we come back in just a minute here from the Capitol Center. The Comets ahead 10-5. And welcome back to the Capitol Center. Not good news there at the end of the quarter for Capitol as Sydney Berkman went down with an injury under the basket. She is not in to start the second half and is actually not even on the bench right now. She went back to the locker room for Capitol, and we hope everything's okay there. Checking in for Capitol for the first time is Allie Ray at point guard. Ray's out there with Murphy, Perkins, Dugood, and Maddie Weiland. Ray passes here to Murphy. Murphy drives in. That's a clean block called by Orphis, and now they're going to call it a jump ball, which will give possession to the Owls. Resetting the floor for Kenyon, it looks like it's Newman, Michaela Rudolph, Orphis, Kerslovic, and Cook. So they're starting five with the exception of Newman in there for guest. Nicole Flock not out there to start the second quarter as well for Capitol, but that's probably because of the foul trouble situation as she is too. No one else in any real foul trouble on either side. Allie Ray, another transfer. She's from New Mexico Highlands out of Toledo, Ohio. That's where she played her freshman year. Ray drives the left side. No good on the layup here. Kenyon shooting 2 for 16 in the first quarter, 12.5%. Capitol shooting under 25% themselves, now 4 for 17. And there's another miss on the Kenyon side. Orphis is just 1 for 8 to start the day, 12%. The rest of her team is in the same boat at 1 for 9. So she's actually doing better than her teammates technically. Murphy for three. Quick catch and shoot. No good. It bounces right to Perkins, and she's fouled on the floor. And that foul is going to go against Rudolph, which is her first. So see which team can find some offense first might be the team that kind of goes into cruise control for the rest of the game. Rudolph is replaced now by Anissa Hardy. Pass goes into Dugood. Capitol had a few possessions there where they pieced it together. Murphy too strong on the three this time. When they were down 2-0, they went on a 6-1 run, and those 6 points kind of came in bunches for Capitol in the early part of that first quarter, and since then it's been kind of trading free throws, and both teams having struggle filling it up. So again, if either team can kind of string together a few possessions, they can kind of regain control if you're Kenyon, or if you're Capitol, just kind of keep this momentum they've had going. High bank off the backboard there, no good from Hardy, but she is fouled and will go to the free throw line. 2 for Orphis, 2 for Guest, and 1 for Cook at the line for Kenyon. Capitol has 4 from Demi Brewer with 5 rebounds already and a steal. They also have 2 from Berkwin, 2 from Dugood, 1 from Perkins, 1 from Weiland. Hardy misses her first attempt. Orphis has 6 rebounds on the other side. Team rebounds, Kenyon 16 to 14, -2 there. As Capitol's winning that battle. Capitol's +1 on turnovers, 5 versus 6. 6 bench points. Kenyon hasn't had any. And points in the paint favoring the Comets 8-2 as well. 5 points of their 10 have come on the fast break. O'Connor leaves it for Murphy for 3. No good. Neither team can find anything from outside. Both teams 0 for 7 shooting from 3. 10-6 after Hardy's free throw gets Kenyon back into this thing. They are 1 for their last 15 shooting the basketball. And they break that streak finally. Basket here from Cook. And actually that was Orphis, with the basket there. And that brings this deficit back down to 2. Nice cut here from O'Connor. And instead of shooting, she brings it back out. Ray switches courts to Weiland on the right wing, and a foul is called against number 4, Bella Kursovic. Flock will check back in for Capital with the 2 fouls, replacing Ray. So Flock needs to be careful not to pick up number 3. Weiland gives it to Flock. Gets a screen now. Flock passes it inside and turns it over. Orphis with another steal. That is her 2nd of the game and her 6th of the season already. Orphis drives left side, leaves it for her teammate Kursovic. Pass inside and a foul called against Capital. That's going to go against Weiland. That'll be her first. Kenyon making a change. Alyssa Guest checking in for Kursovic. Kenyon has a much shorter bench, only 13 players on the active roster. There's a basket here from Hardy, but they've been using quite a few players in this one. They've gone to now 9 players off the bench. Hardy gets the basket and ties this game up, and they're on a 5-0 run now in the last 4 minutes, whereas Capital has has gone 1 for their last 11 and hasn't scored in 4 minutes. Trying to change that at the line with Weiland now. Another sub for Kenyon as Megan Lieb checks back in. And she'll replace Claudia Cook. So they've used 9 players on the other side. 9 so far for Capital as well. But that number's about to increase as Kaylee Cyphers is getting ready to check in. Weiland makes the first free throw to put Capital back up. 11-10 our score, 6:40 to play in the second quarter. And the free throw here is good from Weiland as well. Cyphers will check in for Weiland. While we have a moment, Capital's women's soccer team played in the NCAA tournament today. Unfortunately suffered a tough loss on the road. Neutral site, of course. At Case Western, they played Ithaca College and lost by a count of 1-0. So unfortunately, their season has come to an end, but a really successful campaign. Regular season champs, they lost in the OAC final, and then just lost today in the NCAA tournament to end their season. But their first time qualifying since 2015, and a great season. We'd like to congratulate the women's soccer team for that accomplishment. Missed shot on that last possession there from Kenyon. So Cap with a 2-point lead trying to extend it back out. A 3 ball from O'Connor, and finally we have a shot from outside go down. O'Connor gets her first to go. Now 1 for 5 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3. And now with 3 points, she puts the Comets back up by 5, 15-10. Newman with a bounce pass now to Orphis. She has been all of the offense today pretty much. 4 points, 10 shots, now 11 for Orphis. She misses, gets her own miss. Layup is good. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, an assist, 2 turnovers, and a foul. She's filling up the stat sheet. Murphy from 3. That's 2 in a row now for the Comets as Murphy makes it rain from outside. Her first connection. She had started 0 for 4 and 0 for 5 overall. So that's 2 in a row for the Comets from outside. Now 2 for 9 for the game. And maybe starting to get some momentum from outside. 18-12. Kenyon still has not made a shot from outside. They're shooting 22% overall, and Orphis drives in and gets another one. Orphis has taken 13 shots in 15 minutes. And she's only made 4, but she's starting to get hot on the other side as well. 18-14. Flock switches courts. Pass inside. Perkins is open. And a good find there from O'Connor. moving the ball well. They get it to Samari Perkins, and she picks up her first basket at the collegiate level. A lot of different players getting involved in this one for the Comets. That's now 7 different players that have scored in this game, 6 different players with at least a basket made, and a 20-14 lead with 4:38 to play in the second quarter. We'll be right back. And welcome back. 20-14, 4:30 to play in the second quarter. Comets starting to heat up a little bit from the field, especially from outside. And Kenyon still looking for answers on their offensive end of the floor. They are shooting a better percentage. Actually, scratch that. Capital's up to 30% from from the field, excuse me, and 22% from 3. Kenyon 6 for 24 and 0 for 7. Have not made a perimeter shot in this one yet. We had a lot of good basketball before that timeout. 4 straight possessions with points. Then Kenyon comes up empty. Murphy from 3, no good. Ciphers the offensive board. Kicks out to O'Connor. Fresh 20 for Capital. And a foul is called against Kenyon. And that should go on Alyssa Guest. That'll be her second. That's the 5th team foul, according to the PA. So that should be 2 shots. Kenyon or Capital was lining up to take the inbound there, but if that's the 5th shot or 5th foul, it is. So O'Connor will go to the line. And Guest actually has now picked up her 3rd foul with that last foul. So in terms of the foul trouble situation, Rudolph with 2, Guest with 3 on the other side. And for the Comets, Dogood and Flock each with 2 fouls. O'Connor to the line. She shoots 2, and she knocks in the second after missing the first. Orphis had checked out for Kenyon, but after the foul picked up by Guest, she has to come right back into the game. Orphis pass inside into a dangerous area. Cook had a hand on it but couldn't control it completely. And a 7-point lead for the Comets. This is their largest lead of the day. O'Connor, Perkins, long 2. No good. Too strong off the back iron. And a rebound collected by Cook. 3:20 to play in the half. 21-14, a football score here. And Capital's up by a touchdown. Newman to the right elbow. Now to Orphis. Pass inside. Cook banging her way in. And she's going to be called for a travel before the shot there. Hardy will check back in for Kenyon. Meanwhile, replacing Megan Lieb. Resetting the floor for the Comets. Brewer and O'Connor bringing the ball up right now. Ciphers, Perkins, and Murphy also in the game. 3:05 to play. Brewer walks it across the timeline. It's in the hands now of Murphy on the left wing. She switches courts and almost throws it over Brewer's head. She has to throw it away. And it's thrown right to Claudia Cook as she was trying to save it from going out of bounds. Orphis now drives left. She's been doing a lot of that. Pass goes into Cook. She spins over her right shoulder and is fouled. Murphy tried to draw the charge, it looked like. And she was not able to do that. So that's Murphy's first. That is only the third team foul here. Free throw is good from Claudia Cook. Kenyon is in the bonus, remember, so anytime they foul, Capital's in the bonus. Anytime Kenyon fouls, it'll be 2 shots for Capital for the rest of the half. Splitting a pair at the line, so it's 21-15. Brewer gets the rebound and walks it up the court. Brewer now with 6 rebounds and 4 points, and now an assist as she finds Perkins on the cut. So Perkins with a strong first half. She already has 5 points. She's leading all scorers for Capital. And has kind of been thrust into some extended minutes here with Maddie Duguid picking up 2 fouls in 7 minutes. Weiland checks back in. Cyphers goes to the bench. Rudolph checks back in for Kenyon meanwhile. O'Connor defending right on top of the inbounds here. You can see her bouncing in front, having some trouble getting this in, and they'll drop it into the backcourt now. Orphis has it, drives it across the line. 2:14 to play in the first half. An 8-point lead, the largest of the night for the Comets. Rudolph back to Orphis. Orphis inside. Hardy spins around, no good. Weiland stays up tall there, does not commit the foul. Capital no longer with a foul to give as they've picked up 4 now, by the way. Perkins drives into the paint, leaves it a little bit short, hit the bottom of the rim there on the drive, tried to get around the rim there and spin it over. Was not able to do so. So a quick possession back the other way now for the Owls. Pass over to the left elbow now. Cook holding it high, leaves it for Orphis, gives her a screen now. Orphis brings it back to the top of the key, drives left wing, down the paint, no good, and the rebound collected by Murphy after a tip. 1:25 to play. Quick pace here. O'Connor under the basket. She got too deep, pulls it back out. Murphy may have walked, cut away with it. Floater, no good. Rebound, Perkins, she gets fouled, and excellent effort there from Perkins just to get a shot off. She has 5 points and 6 rebounds, the freshman making a big impact early in this one. Samari Perkins, a freshman I mentioned out of Pittsburgh, PA, went to Obama Academy High School. She split a pair at the line her first time, and she gets this one to go, gets the shooter's roll, as we call it. Capital now 6 for 10 at the line, a little bit better, 60%. Still like to see a little bit more improvement there, but it was a slow start. Perkins takes her time. Second free throw is good. So how about this first half from Perkins in 14 minutes? 7 points, 6 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. All of that on 2 of 5 shooting. And she's also knocked down 3 free throws now. Steal here by Brewer. Gets it out in front to O'Connor. Now she's fouled. Foul is going to go against number 22. That's Michaela Rudolph, and that's big because that's her third. So Kenyon starting to enter the foul trouble situation. Hersovic will check back in. They've got 2 starters now with 3 fouls in Alyssa Guest and Michaela Rudolph. Now O'Connor goes to the line for 2 more free throws. This one's good. 7 free throws made, now 8 for Capital on 12 tries. They have 8 field goals made. So getting to the line is a big part of this game here for Capital. What a rebound again by Perkins. And now she's fouled by Hardy. So Anissa Hardy picks up her second. And Perkins continues to impress here. 7 rebounds now. She has 7 points and a chance to get to 9. If she makes both free throws here, she'll be the game's leading scorer as Orphis has 8 on the other side. Perkins 3 for 4 at the line, and this one's good as well. We like what we're seeing so far out of Samari Perkins. Great first impression with her teammates. And the coaching staff probably pleased as well, as Duguid was only able to give us 7 minutes before the 2 fouls picked up. Perkins splits a pair at the line, but again has done a phenomenal job filling in at the 5, and exactly what the Comets needed. They lead by 12 here, so everything is going well for the Owls. They call a stoppage here. Wow. So they called a 10-second violation there, as the Owls took too long to get it across the timeline. They were walking it up the floor, and just a unforced error there against the Owls. A 10-second backcourt violation. So the Comets get a free possession out of it. O'Connor's open for 3. It's good. Bree O'Connor, the transfer out of Tiffin. And she's picked up 8 now, tying Perkins for the game high. 30-15. Capital doubling up the Owls. We'll see if they hold for the last shot here. Shot clock is turned off, and there's 12 seconds on it. Orphis, kick out, 3 ball. No good. Kenyon goes 0 for 8 from 3 in the first half, just 6 for 27 shooting, a total of 22% here in the first half. And the Comets have 5 seconds as Brewer will pick it off of the roll. Brewer now passes to Murphy. 3 seconds. Murphy, floater off the rim, no good. Rebound collected by Michaela Rudolph. A+ first half there for the Comets. They lead 30-15. And we'll put some time on the clock for halftime, 15 minutes to be exact. So we'll come back in 14. We'll give you some stats from the first half and bring it back for half number 2. Comets looking really good here in the season opener here at the Capitol Center. We'll see if they can keep it going in the second half. Under a minute until we resume play here at the Capitol Center. Jimmy Bloomfield here with you tonight. Capitol with a successful first half, to say the least, up by 30 to 15 counts, doubling up the Comets. Doubling up the Owls are the Comets. Comets are shooting 30% from the field, 27% from three as a team. On the other side, over 8 from three, 22% overall. Both teams did shoot over 35% in the second quarter after a rough first quarter. Leading scorers, 8 points for three different players. Bree O'Connor has 8 with 2 assists in 18 minutes on the floor. Perkins for the Comets has been a nice surprise off the bench. 8 points, 7 rebounds, and she earns the second half start alongside Dugood. And she's in there for the injured Sydney Berkwin. So it'll be Murphy, O'Connor, Dugood, Flock, and Perkins to start the second quarter here, or the second half for the Comets. On the other side, Bree Orphis also has 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and an assist and 3 turnovers. And she has supplied the bulk of the offense for the Owls. Perkins passes to Dugood. On the right wing now, Murphy from 3, no good. Looked good on the, at least, attempt to the basket, the approach to the basket, but was off center just a little bit. Kenyon in some serious foul trouble as well. Two of their starters, Michaela Rudolph, as well as Alyssa Guest, each have 3 fouls. This is Cook under the basket. She gets it to go. She had a double-double in their first game and has yet to really get it going. Now just with 4 points and 3 rebounds, as the Owls cut the deficit down to 13. O'Connor gives off to Dugood. Capitol has some foul trouble of their own. A 3-ball from Murphy, no good. Dugood and Flock each picked up 2 fouls in the first half, so they are both playing with restricted minutes. Only 7 minutes played for Flock and 8 for Dugood, which led to some extended minutes for some other players. 19 total minutes played for O'Connor and Murphy in that first half for Capitol. Foul here is called against Claudia Cook, so that's her second now. And from under the basket, Flock will pass it in. Too high for Perkins, and it's turned over. Some team stats for you. Capitol +5 in the rebound department, currently at 25 to 20. They have 3 less turnovers, 7 versus 10 for the Owls. Fast break points, 10-0 in favor of Capitol. 15-3 in terms of the bench points as well. It's a pass to Cook. She misses. Flock with the rebound. 12 to 10 points in the paint battle for the Comets in their favor there. Points off turnovers, 7 versus 5, and a Capitol turnover now after the rebound from Flock. Three ball for Guest, no good. And that's now 0 for 9 from outside for the Owls. O'Connor drives into the paint. Tough reverse layup. She gets it to go. Made that one look easy. And the first player in double figures tonight is the transfer out of Tiffin, the Hilliard-Davidson product, Bree O'Connor. Pass now inside to Orphis, and she's also in double figures. Nice pass there from Michaela Rudolph to set that up. And it's back down to 13, 32 to 19. Pass inside, Flock is rejected. The block by Claudia Cook. And now Orphis pushes it the other way. Passes it off into the corner. And now on the left wing, holding it high here is Kursovic. Pass inside to Cook, and she's really getting going now. Timeout called by Coach McPherson. And good effort from the Owls out of the locker room. They've cut the deficit down to 11, and Coach McPherson wants to regroup. 7:26 to play, third quarter action. 32-21 our score. We'll be right back. So a quick 30-second timeout. And play resumes. See how the Comets respond. No changes personnel-wise for the Comets through the first 2.5 minutes. Pass goes into Perkins, and that's going to be a tie-up. Possession arrow favors the Owls, so the turnover battle, which we mentioned just a moment ago, was +3 for the Comets. It's now level at 10 apiece. It's allowed the other side, the Kenyon to get back into this ball game. Down by just 11. If they can score here, cut it back down to out of double figures. They're +4 here in the third quarter so far, outscoring the Comets 6-2 in the first 3 minutes. Orphis loses the possession, but it was tipped, so she gets her dribble back. Now drives inside, and a bailout foul called against Murphy. It's already the second team foul for the Comets as well. Comets pick up 2 with Murphy there. 2 shots coming as well out of that. Flock and Duga check out. Checking in is Weiland and Brewer. This unit played really well together, especially in that second quarter. Perkins, Weiland, O'Connor, Murphy, and Brewer. Orphis at the line for 2. Kind of a gift free throws for her. She makes the first. Already 11 points now for Orphis. She's on pace for a good night. Hardy checked in, by the way, for the Owls. Keeping everybody fresh with rotations here early in the season. Brewer with a handoff to O'Connor. O'Connor gets a screen from Weiland. And wide open under the basket was Brewer. She found the soft spot underneath the basket. A little bit of a zone look there from Kenyon. And Brewer receives the pass and puts it in. I believe that was O'Connor on the find. It might have been Weiland. Check that in a second. But for the meantime, an 11-point lead for the Comets. Now a 3 on this side, no good. Offensive rebound for Guest. She puts it in to cut it back down to 9. O'Connor did get the assist on the Brewer layup. It's her third assist. And 6 points for Demi Brewer off the bench. Pass goes into Perkins now at the free throw line extended. Passing it out to O'Connor, who finds some space on the right side of the basket. No good. Weak side rebound. And O'Connor tried to throw it off of Kursovic, but was already out of bounds. Now Kursovic will come out and be replaced by the freshman out of Forney, Texas, Alexis Newman. We've seen her a little bit in this one. 9-point game. The Owls have definitely grinded their way back into this one, shooting 57% here early in the third quarter, outscoring the Comets 10-4. And a pass inside into traffic. That's going to be out of bounds off of Capital. Yeah, Coach Corbett telling her team, let's calm down. That's kind of a low percentage pass there, trying to drill it into the paint. 16 on the shot clock for Kenyon to work with here. Fake pass to the left. They come this way now to the right. And the long two-pointer from Guest is no good. Weiland, good positioning on the rebound. Cap still +6 in the rebound department, but they turn it over at midcourt. And now a clean block. Weiland will probably get credit for that one. Guest gets the steal and then gets rejected, but gets possession back for the Owls. Orphis works off a screen. She's not open. They're going to have to come this side to Guest. Guarded by O'Connor tightly. And 20 on the shot clock now for the Owls. Brewer trying to get a steal. Orphis now trips, and they call a foul against Murphy. It's her third. She'll probably have to come out. No quick movements to the bench yet from Coach McPherson. And now she will, in fact, go to the bench. And it'll be Jenna Horsley, the freshman out of Asheville, Ohio, getting her first playing time of the season and of her career. So Jenna Horsley, number 30, checks in for the Comets. Laney picking up her third foul. The Owls trail by 9. This is the closest they've been since midway through the second quarter. An impressive start to the third quarter. Now midway through, Guest for three. They needed that one. No good. O'Connor gets the rebound. Now it's 2-on-1 the other way. O'Connor gives it off to Horsley, who went out wide. Back to O'Connor. O'Connor along two. Not exactly how you draw it up, and she misses but gets her own miss. Now Weiland chucks from three and gets it to go. Well, not exactly how you execute the 2-on-1, but it turns into 3 points anyway for the Comets, as Weiland knocks in the fourth triple of the night for the Comets. And now Weiland defensively comes away with either a block or a steal, whatever you want to call that. Weiland now passes it back to Brewer. Quick pass, Horsley for three. Yes, it's good. The freshman Jenna Horsley knocks it down. That's 2 straight trips down the floor with threes. 40-25. And the lead back up to 15 now. The Owls struggling in this possession to get anything going on in the low block. Rudolph, and a foul called against Weiland. So Weiland picks up her second. 2 subs for Kenyon as Cook and Herslovic come back in. Kaylee Cyphers will check in now, replacing Perkins. Capital with back-to-back threes now have pushed this thing back to a 15-point lead. First free throw is no good for Rudolph. Struggling tonight, 0 for 6 from the field. She's picked up 3 fouls as well, and does get 1 to go at the stripe this time. Checking in is Megan Lieb, replacing Rudolph. 40-26. A 6-1 run after back-to-back threes for the Comets. O'Connor pass to Cyphers. Cyphers now to Brewer. Brewer tries to drive into the paint, has to kick it out. Instead, Horsley working her way through, tried to pick up or draw a foul. Tie up instead. Cyphers working hard under the basket to keep possession with her side, and she will. So after that tie up, 13 seconds on the shot clock for Capital to work with. Inbounded to Cyphers. Bounce pass to Weiland, right wing. Now Brewer's open along two, and it's good. (42-26), largest lead of the night for the Comets. Demi Brewer has 8 now. And in the quarter, that's already now 10 points scored, 12 points for the Comets with still 3 minutes left. Cyphers tried to draw a charge. Orphis gets the tough look to go. She is 14 now on the other side for Kenyon. Very impressive. Horsley calling for it in the corner for 3. She's going to jack it up. It's no good. Orphis gets the rebound, and then Brewer called for a foul. 4 subs coming now for Kenyon. They send Guest, Rudolph, Grace Murphy getting her first action, and Anissa Hardy onto the floor. Grace Murphy, a freshman out of Montpelier, Vermont, the state capital. Capital sticking with their look, meanwhile, of Horsley, Cyphers, Weiland, O'Connor, and Brewer. Already the depth of this team being tested with Duguid and Flock going into foul trouble early as Weiland almost gets a steal. Instead, it's a tough shot knocked down by Orphis. Then you had the injury to Borkwind, and now Murphy picks up 3 fouls, which puts Horsley into action. And next man up for the Comets. They've continued to answer the charge here. O'Connor with the drive, no good. And now Weiland's going to pick up her third. So foul trouble becoming more of a problem. But again, a lot of depth being shown by the Comets. Those transfers have really helped. Murphy checks back in for O'Connor now. And a strong debut for her. She's leading the Comets with 10 points right now. 4 assists as well, and 2 turnovers, 3 rebounds. The foul here puts Orphis to the line because of the bonus situation. Kenyon, meanwhile, has only picked up 1 foul this entire quarter. Orphis with the first free throw attempt, and it's good. 18 shot attempts for Orphis. She's starting to get going now. She has 17 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, and an assist. She's played 27 minutes of this game. She's sat for less than a minute. She's had 2 about 20 and 30-second stints on the bench, and that's it for Orphis. And she had the game winner on Tuesday, and she's showing she is the leader of this team unquestionably. Brewer with a nice bounce pass inside, and Cyphers finishes it. Meanwhile, for the Comets, up by 12, 44-32. Kaylee Cyphers with the basket for the Comets. Now 9 different players have scored in this game for the Comets. Weiland gets another steal defensively, puts it out in front of Horsley. She drives into the paint, switches court, goes to the right hand and gets it to go. And Horsley, who was thrown into action because of the foul trouble from Murphy, and has done well with it, as she's now had 5 points, knocking down a 3 and then getting that layup in transition. Now 15 fast break points for the Comets in this game. They lead by 14 again, 46-32. 1:19 to play, third quarter. Here's a 3 on the other side, and that's Grace Murphy, also number 5. No relation. She can't knock it down. Weiland gets a run-out pass. It's left for Lainey Murphy in the paint, and it'll stay here after Murphy's blocked by Hardy. Claudia Cook now replacing Grace Murphy for the Owls. 22 seconds on the shot clock here, so plenty of time for the Comets to work with. It'll be Murphy to pass it in from under the basket. Pass goes into Brewer on the right wing. Top of the key now to Murphy. And Murphy gets a screen, drives right, leaves it for Brewer. She's looking inside, no one home. Now she'll drive it inside. Blocked. Gets her own block, now kicks it out to Murphy for 3. No good. And good defensive sequence there from Anissa Hardy after she gets the block. Picks up the rebound as well after Murphy's miss. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Owls had gotten it down to 9, but the Comets had some outside shooting go their way and have gotten it back up to 14. Basket there from Orphis again. She now has 18. Still has an entire quarter to go. Capital can hold for the last shot. A higher scoring quarter than we've seen. It was 10-5 Capital in the first, 20-10 Capital in the second, and now 17-16 here in the third in favor of the Owls. A 3-ball from Horsley, no good with 2 seconds left. A rebound collected by the Owls, and that'll do it. 46-34, actually a 19-16 scoring win there for the Kenyon College Owls. They combined for 35 between the two teams in what was the highest scoring quarter of the night so far. But it ends with the Comets up by 12. We'll see if they can hang on here down the stretch. 10 more minutes up on the clock, and we'll be right back with the fourth quarter in just a moment. So Cap will start the quarter with a 12-point lead. The Owls will get the first possession here in the fourth quarter. They outscored Defiance by 9 points to get the win on Tuesday. When they will start in a big hole here in the fourth quarter, they're going to need a strong start like they had to the start of the third quarter. A 3-ball to start things off. It's no good. And a wild scramble for the basketball afterwards. It's going to result in a jump ball, so Capital will get possession. And an empty first possession here in the quarter. Katie Orphis has 20 points for the Owls, and she starts the quarter on the bench. She has 20 of the team's 34. And we mentioned she's played all but about 50 seconds so far, so she does need a little bit of a breather. Flock for three. Nice find from O'Connor. The shot there from Flock, though, hits the front of the rim and bounces down. Rebound collected by Kenyon. Kenyon hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Trying to change that with this possession. It's been all Orphis, so they need someone else to step up and become that second scorer. And Claudia Cook is probably who you would turn to, and she turns it over. Cook had a double-double, 18 and 10 in the first game for Kenyon on Tuesday. It's Flock, Murphy, Horsley staying in there for Capital, Perkins and O'Connor, the 5 on the floor. Capital very much using that hot hand kind of approach. Pass goes to Flock, no good. Hardy with the rebound on the other side. Tough shooting day for Nicole Flock so far, 0 for 3 now. Murphy, on the other hand, is 1 for 13, by the way, for the Comets. I don't know if that was a pass or a shot by Kenyon. It'll probably go in the books as a shot. And coach has seen enough as Orphis is back in there, as well as Alyssa Guest. The Owls shooting 30% from the field. Comets shooting 32%, 5 of 19 for 3. And again, Murphy 1 for 9 there. So if you erase her, everyone's 4 for 10 besides Murphy. She's had a tough day from outside. Did knock one home. Here's O'Connor with it now. O'Connor drives from the left wing to the right lower block and loses possession. The Comets with 12 turnovers, matching the output of the Owls, also with 12. And now Orphis goes to work, passes it off, and we'll try to work away without the ball here. Tough shot from the left elbow, no good from Rudolph, and Hardy with an athletic rebound. She'll go to the line. Neither team has scored in the first 2 minutes of this one. Wyland comes in for Horsley. Brewer comes in for Flock. So this has been a pretty good unit, as I've said before. O'Connor, Brewer, Murphy, Perkins, and Wyland, those 5. Kind of been the magic tonight for Capital, so they'll go to those 5. And I wonder how much of this is the first game and everything, but the starters for Capital, one's injured right now, and 2 of them are on the bench, and Flock and Duguid, and just kind of riding the hot hands of some of the players that have played extremely well in this game. For instance, Wyland's played extremely well, especially on the defensive end of the floor. Perkins has had a really strong start to her career as well. And Demi Brewer, of course, off the bench, is one of the better players on this roster and probably in there for the injured Borkwin right now. So we'll see if this is the closing lineup, but I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of a hot hand approach for Capital as we move through the first part of this season as they try to find that right combination, playing with their rotations. Orphis with a shot over Brewer, no good. Rebound collected by Wyland, and she's fouled. Wyland with 6 points, 3 blocks, a steal, 3 rebounds, and an assist today in 18 minutes. She's all over the stat sheet. Brewer brings it across the line. She has 8 points, 8 rebounds as well. Perkins with the tough shot, no good, and they call Brewer for the foul. That's her second, and the team's second. For Demi, that's actually her third. Some players with 3 fouls here. Flock has 3, Murphy has 3, Wyland has 3, and now Murphy has 3. Now Brewer has 3. So a lot of key players there for the Comets with 3 fouls. We'll have to keep an eye on that situation. Only 7 minutes left in the game, but you can pick up a foul and easily turn into foul trouble with 4. Brewer, top of the key, thought about the 3, but instead will use more of that clock here. Neither team has made a shot. Just one free throw on the other side, and there's Murphy from 3. She's a better shooter than 1 for 9 from outside. She knocks down her second. That gives her 6 points, 2 for 10 now from the perimeter. And more importantly, Capital's back up by 14 with 6:44 remaining. Full timeout taken by Kenyon. We'll be right back. 49-35, 6:38 remaining, and Orphis having some real problems getting this across midcourt. She does now with 18 seconds on the shot clock. They finally get into their sets. Hardy with a pass down low and a foul called. Is that on Perkins? It's on Brewer. So that's her fourth. And as I was saying, it's easy to go from 3 to 4 and immediately be in foul trouble. So Nicole Flock will check in for Brewer. Really late substitution here. But they're going to keep Brewer alive in this game before she picks up her fifth. 49-35. Orphis passes it in, gets it right back, takes a long two, and it's no good, and Flock gets the rebound. And Nicole running it out now to Murphy. Murphy, good pass to O'Connor in transition. O'Connor to Perkins instead, top of the key. Perkins knocks it down. Samari Perkins has 10. 10 and 8 for the freshman off the bench in 25 big minutes. And she's probably going to close this game out with how well she's played. Checking back in now for the Owls is Kursovic. $16-point lead. This is the largest of the day. I've been saying that sentence a lot, which is usually a good thing. And the Owls looking for some answers. And again, they turn to Orphis. She turns to the left, passes it off. Rudolph has it now. And Flock is glued to Orphis right now. They try a different body. This time it's Guest, and Perkins is called for the foul. That is her first, believe it or not. So Guest goes to the line. First one's good. Kenyon now 10 of 15 at the line, 66%. Second free throw also good. Back down to 14. Kenyon has gotten it down to as little as 9 here in the second half. But that was all the way back in the third quarter. And time is slipping away from them here in this game. Weiland for three. This would be a big one. It is good. Maddie Weiland off the bench with 9. How about some of these numbers off the bench? Perkins has 10. Brewer has 9. Horsley 5. And in terms of total bench points, 31-4 in favor of Capital. Everyone chipping in tonight. A good team effort. And defensively, they're holding the other side to just 27% shooting. And the Owls are 0 for 14 from outside. They have not made a three-point shot. Cook to the free throw line. She makes the first. Any foul from Capital will send Kenyon to the line. They've picked up 5 fouls now in the fourth. Cook misses the second free throw. That last foul was called on Perkins, by the way, so that's 2 for her now. O'Connor passes it to the left wing, Murphy. Now it's Perkins in the paint. Passes it out to Weiland. And Capital would be wise to run this clock down. 12 on the shot clock. Pass into the corner. Murphy, extra pass. Weiland, she drives into the paint. Kick out for Flock for 3. It's short. Offensive rebound, Murphy, and she's fouled by Orphis. Just the second team foul for Kenyon. This one's on the floor. And that's a big offensive rebound in that it allows Capital to run another 20 seconds off the clock. They lead by 16, and Kenyon's only scored 38 to this point. And they have not made a three-pointer in the game. So odds are definitely in our favor here. But you want to be smart and close the game out and practice this kind of a situation. Maybe a rush shot there from Flock, and the rebound goes to Cook on the other side. Perkins is a rebound short of a double-double in her college debut. That's not bad. She also has 4 assists, which is second on the team to Bree O'Connor's 5. But number 10 has been a big impact in this one for Capital. Pass goes inside Cook, and she'll get the layup to go. 54-40 now with 4:12 to play. O'Connor across the timeline again. And Capital should use up the majority of this shot clock here. Actually, they take a quick one with 9 seconds on it. And a quick 9-second possession, missed three from Murphy, and that's one that's a coachable situation there for Laney. Probably don't want to take that shot that early in the shot clock in this situation. Some three-quarters court pressure here from Capital. They'll back off now as Orphis gets that across the timeline, guarded by Flock. She moves to the left, throws up a long two, no good. Gets her own miss. Into the paint now. Layup is good from Orphis. 22 for Orphis. 9 of 23 shooting. And she has 22, I just said, of the team's 42 points, over 50% of them. Full timeout called by Capital. 3:41 remaining. And the Comets lead by 12 with possession. We'll be right back. .341 to play. Out of the timeout. Let's see what the Comets do here. They need to start taking the air out of the basketball. I believe that was tipped. Oh, that had to have been tipped. The entire bench gets up, and the official here on the near side of the court saves the call here. So Capital will inbound it with 17 seconds left. Murphy threw that about 15 feet behind her intended target. There's no way that pass was that errant. And the tip by Guest was not seen by that official. Now Murphy with a tough shot on the baseline. She gets it to go. So Capital makes the most of that possession, gets 2 points out of it. And they're back up by 14, which is more than 4 possessions now with 3:11 to play. And a late offensive score on the other side with Orphis, but that's a lot of points in not a lot of time. Orphis goes inside to Cook here. Cook back outside Orphis. She'll drive into the baseline, give it back to Cook, and those two just trying anything they can. Cook has 9, Orphis has 22. That's 31 of the 42 points. And it was a similar story in their first game of the season. Those two carried the load offensively, and there's really not that third scorer. Rudolph had 10 in the first game. She has had 1 point in this game, shooting 0 for 7. Guest has 6, but still that's not enough from your third scorer. Capital has players with 10, 10, 8, 8, and 9, and also a 5 from Horsley. O'Connor and Perkins lead the way with 10 each. Brewer and Murphy each have 8. A 30-second timeout called by Kenyon. 56-44, 2:56 to play. We'll stay here for the short timeout. Capital in the fourth quarter is tied with Kenyon now 10-10. They're shooting 40% from the field. The Comets overall now shooting 34.5%, 20 for 58. The other side, Kenyon now at 15 for 50 and even 30%. 14 of 20 at the line. Capital is 9 of 15 at the line. Capital winning the rebounding battle now 39-32, each side with 13 turnovers. 34 bench points to 4 in favor of Capital. 17-2 on fast break points. Kenyon now with more points in the paint, 22-20. Capital will use a lot of clock here this possession. Almost turning it over. Murphy now facing a double team, hands it off to Flock. guarded by Guest. Perkins leaves a screen for her. Flock drives into the paint and is fouled. So that's great. 22 seconds off the shot clock and a chance at points this possession still with Flock going to the line. So that's a perfect executed possession in this situation. And if you split a pair of free throws here, that would make it back to at least a 5-possession game. And the first one is good from Nicole Flock. She has not made a shot today, but she does have a point now. 2 rebounds and an assist as well. She's been battling some foul trouble. She's out there for Brewer right now, who has 4 fouls. We'll see if Brewer comes back into this one or not. 2:28 to play. Orphis has it for Kenyon. 22 points, 9 of 23 shooting, 10 rebounds, a double-double for her. And she'll call for a screen now, down by 13, 2:17 to play. And Kenyon is just defending, or Capital is just defending the perimeter. Cook in traffic gets the layup to go. She has quietly put up 13 and 7 now. And it's down to 11. Capital takes it under 2 minutes now, and they should just take the air out of the ball completely here. This possession again. Would it be shocked if they shoot before 10 on the shot clock? O'Connor on the right elbow drives into the paint. Nice bounce pass to Weiland. She'll kick it out. O'Connor top of the key, 7 to shoot. Gets a screen from Perkins. Pulls out for a deep 3 ball, and that's a dagger right there. Bree O'Connor with her 3rd triple. Capital now 8 for 24 from outside and a 14-point lead once again. O'Connor leading the way for the Comets with 13 points now. She also is leading the team with 5 assists. 1:18 to play. Capital's going to move to 1-0 on the season. And an excellent job throughout this game. Kenyon, meanwhile, finally knocks down their first outside shot of the day on their 15th attempt. Murphy trying to even it out on her side. No good. She's now 3 for 17 shooting. 2 for 12 from 3. A rough first game for Murphy. Does have 8 points. And after the 3 and a quick miss, it's an 11-point lead with 58 seconds left. I already said it. Capital's moving to 1-0, and I hope they don't make me look wrong there. Orphis brings it across the timeline. Still a 4-possession game. And Kenyon has a foul to give. Weiland with her 4th block of the contest. And a foul's called. So, again, one more to send Capital to the free throw line now. O'Connor brings it to the right wing, gets the screen. Kenyon electing not to foul here, so they'll play this one out, and the Comets will, in fact, move to 1-0. The Owls will drop to 0-1, and a lot of real positive things in this game from the Comets. Everybody kind of contributing. They had 11 players play in this game. 10 of the 11 scored a point. And 9 of those 10 made a shot from the field. Orphis throws up a miss. Rebound to Weiland, and that's going to do it for this one. 8 seconds left on the clock, and it'll tick away. The Comets start the season the right way with a 1-0 record, and they defeat the Owls here tonight 60-49, a game they pretty much led wire to wire. The last lead for the Owls in this game came at the 9:01 mark of the first quarter, so that goes to show you how dominant the Comets were in this win. Individually, some pretty good performances. 13 points from Bree O'Connor in her debut as a Comet. 5 assists and 3 rebounds for her as well. Off the bench, Perkins with 10 points and 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Not bad for her first collegiate game. Demi Brewer added 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. And Maddie Weiland off the bench with 9 points, knocking down both her 3-point attempts, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 assist, and 4 blocks, among others who contributed in this game. The Comets knocking down 8 for 25 from outside. They shoot 32% from the 3-point range, 35% from the field goal percentage overall. For Kenyon, they shoot just 31% in the game. They go 1 for 17 from three. Really good defense from the Owls. They did not score, or from the Comets on the Owls. The Owls did not score more than 19 in any quarter of the game. They had a pretty big third quarter. Outside of that, 5, 10, and 15 for the other three quarters in this game. Orphis on the other side, a really strong performance for her. We'll give her some kudos as well. The senior for the Owls had 22 points and 10 rebounds. 9 of 24 shooting, 13 points and 8 rebounds for Claudia Cook as well. So the Comets start with a win here at the Capitol Center. Things that we love to see. And they'll be right back at it again here from the Capitol Center on Tuesday. Denison, another NCAC opponent, next up for the Comets. And we will see them here at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. We hope to see you here as well. Jimmy Bloomfield signing off from the Capitol Center as the Comets win 60-49 over the Kenyon College Owls. 1-0 start to the season for Capitol. We'll see you on Tuesday for a chance to go 2-0. Thanks to everyone for listening tonight. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will catch you on Tuesday.